Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to an episode of Top Tier Talk. This week, the inevitable happened. Man City have won a fourth Premier League in 5 years, but we're going to start with Chelsea this week, so Amir, take it away.
Yeah, short and sweet for Chelsea because who really cares at this point? We lost to City. Fafana gave the ball away. Alvarez scored, and then we only conceded one, so I'm quite happy about that. Sterling had a chance, could have scored it, did not, but oh well. The season's done. We have nothing to fight for, so this game's meaningless. And to be honest, it was kind of meaningless for City when Arsenal bottled the Forest game. Obviously, they bottled it before, but yeah, nothing on Chelsea really. Just one more game to go. Two more games to go. We've got United and well, I can't think off the top of my head who we got, but nothing,
We've
nothing
got
for me.
Newcastle, I think, your last game of the season.
Oh, you're
I
right.
want to say Newcastle.
No,
Yeah,
it
we
was
are. Yeah, great knowledge.
a couple of questions.
Yeah,
So first one, what did you think of Ruben Loftus-Cheek's? Apparently, he had a masterclass at the
he
Etihad,
did,
and
he
now
did,
he's
and
leaving.
it's quite fitting with him moving to or rumors of him going to AC
Mm,
Milan. I actually did say in my keep will sell Ruben Loftus-Cheek out, and I do kind of stand by that. I don't think he's Chelsea standard, so one game doesn't
mm.
really sway my mind and stuff.
And what are your thoughts on? There are theories now about Mudryk being an acquisition to supply weapons to Ukraine in the war, and himself, he's a refugee in London, and he's not actually a player. What are your thoughts on that? One of your own fans has come out and said that theory, which,
No
to be
comment.
honest, the way he's
No
going
comment.
about it right now, it seems like he's a refugee.
No comment.
And the money has gone to Ukraine to help them in the war.
Well, we want Ukraine to win that war, so okay, yeah, right. So that's crazy, man. Football fans are weird. Football
the
fans are weird.
next the next question, and one positive to add to Chelsea, you did win the XG battle against Man City C team. They scored, but you did miss chances, and you did actually outperform them on XG.
Yeah.
So congrats. Would you write this? Do you think Chelsea will ever have a season as bad as this ever again?
No,
Yes.
I do not. I think this season was a shambles, and if there was a memory wipe, I would wipe it from my memory. But it has to do with a collective of things. It was the owner, the manager, the players, to be honest. So there is blame like to be split. I think more percentage probably to the owners at this point now. I know you lot remember I was very pro Bowley, but I've kind of just taken my Chelsea hat off and seen he's made a lot of mistakes. Him being sporting director, trying to do stuff himself, but we're getting the right people in. I like the fact that the Poch appointment took time; it wasn't straight away, so it can only go up from here. And some of the stuff I'm seeing with Poch, some of the drills he does, he makes the players run. He likes a smaller squad. That I like that stuff. I'm really into it, and he likes to create a bit of a family at Tottenham. He had like barbecues, invited the owner and stuff. Like he put a barbecue thing. I know that's like little things, but it just shows like a human touch as well. And I think that's what kind of these players it need. So I get it. I get it. I know
I,
it's small things, but I like that.
I just to pick up on a point you said, they're like a smaller squad. I agree, obviously, like you look at PSG, where they don't need a bigger team, and obviously he didn't do great there, or whatever argument I put forward. Or Spurs, he had a set squad, but that was probably because the finances and the budget and he couldn't spend.
Mm,
But if
yeah,
you look at, for example, and I'm not saying you're going to get there, but you probably do have a similar sort of financial backing power almost as Man City, in regards of you're not a million miles away, certainly. If you look at, for example, City, their C team could probably still arguably go and win the league anyway. Like the team they put out against you yesterday could probably still win the league over a season. They've got enough manpower. But if Poch is going to come to Chelsea and have a smaller squad, obviously you haven't got Europe next season, but the season after you're going to start getting into European competitions. You
hopefully,
you
yeah.
can't have a
But
squad
a
of
small
15
squad,
brilliant players
but a
and
small
no one
squad with.
else
I
really.
understand that, but a small squad like 24 is quite a large squad still. But it's the quality that's the issue. To be honest,
Yeah, that's what I was
that's
going to
what you
say.
got. That's
Like
what I mean. That's what kind
you
of I
need,
think hindered Arsenal, the lack of
yeah,
quality when Saliba went off. I know,
yeah, they
and
would
stuff.
bring
So
Kivior
if
or
there is
Holding,
exactly,
whereas
we obviously can't do what Liverpool did when they won the league because that was absolutely crazy. Do you know, no injuries at all, and that 11 was basically set for most of the season. But if you have quality off the bench like City do, I don't see an issue with having like a couple man
oh yeah,
short.
that's what I was going to say. But as in,
Yeah,
there's going to be need to be a big change around. Like you're going to need to spend a lot of money and get people in and people that
I
want to
disagree with
trust the
that.
build. Well, no, but as you said, like Loftus-Cheek, for example, or Gallagher, or players that come like Ziyech, players that are coming off the bench now, they shouldn't be near your squad if you want to be
No, no, no,
competing for
no.
the best of the best.
And
It's going to
and
need to be a massive culture shift
of
at Chelsea.
course, and I fully agree. And I think that starts with an overhaul of players. That's the first thing that needs to be done. You need to filter out the players that are good enough and should be there and want to be there, and the ones that should not. So that I think that you're right with that. It starts with filtering out these players.
Anything else, or are we going to move on to the second best team in Manchester? Maybe third after Stockport got to the playoff final.
What?
I said, are you going to move on to the third, potentially third best team in Manchester after Stockport got to the playoff final?
Oh, I just completely missed that. Sorry. Okay, so who did we play? We played Bournemouth, and it was at Bournemouth Stadium. Every game I've ever watched at Bournemouth Stadium is terrible. I didn't like the camera angle. It was just not a fun watch. Also, we didn't play that well. We haven't really played well for quite a long time now. Not across the 90 minutes, anyways. Yeah, I mean, it's important to win games, especially considering how bad our away record is. So it was good to get the result. There was not much standout performers. I mean, the defenders were good. De Gea made a couple of good saves. Hopefully, that doesn't add to his contract. And aside from that, yeah, the strikers, I don't know what is going on because Anthony he's improved on so much aspects of the game, but he can't finish a football. Jadon Sancho I really think he is interested in football, but he doesn't look like it. Doesn't look interested when he
I have a
plays.
question for
He's
you.
very passive.
If you're Ten Hag start next season, how would you manage Jadon Sancho's situation? What would you think is best in this? Because you can obviously see as a player you sought after for a couple of years and you finally got him and paid a lot of money for him. But with this drop off, what would you do? What is needed for Jadon Sancho, basically?
I mean, at this point, he's been sent to the mountains. So, like, I don't know if there's a space option, but like, what more can be done? Like, could he be sent to the moon and wherever it's habitable outside of space and really reflect on his life? Because he doesn't seem like he's quite there. It's not the same Jadon Sancho we saw at Dortmund, or even the one that not even first came in, but I don't know. At the start of the season, there was a period where he actually looked like the real deal. I don't think Sancho starts for us in our best team. I really don't understand why Garnacho isn't playing more. Um, in next season, our front three, the best front three, will involve Rashford at left wing, the new striker, and most likely Anthony. And even after that, the second players in each position would most possibly be right wing. You'd have Ahmad. I really wanted to stay Diallo. The striker could potentially be again just Rashford out of place, and then the left wing. I guess it would be Sancho, but then do you keep him on the bench? I don't know. He really needs to fix up. Someone needs to tell him to run at defenders. It's like he doesn't believe in his own ability, or he doesn't believe that he's faster than anyone. And we've come across a few right backs now that aren't quick. If it was Kyle Walker, I'd understand, but I don't know. There's something really severely going on with him. He doesn't seem interested.
Just as a point, I saw on, I think it was on Twitter, it was a video Man United posted Anthony flicking it past someone and then giving a foul away, and then, what a touch or what a turn, Anthony, or something like that. But again, so there was a comment on there saying it was from I'm guessing a United fan said that Anthony doesn't look like he's running at people than he was at the start of the season. Do you reckon that's a coaching with like a Ten Hag thing?
He wasn't at the start of the season. He wasn't running at defenders. Now he is. It's just that one game against Bournemouth.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was just
yeah. Okay. But that spin also, that was stupid. I don't know why the admin put that because it was just opening up abuse because he did nothing good in that spin. Our admin doesn't watch football.
He didn't beat the man. He lost the ball and gave away a free kick.
He lost the ball. But our admin just doesn't watch football. Brainwashing fans.
From me, do you think top four is secured for you now? Do you think it's done?
If top four isn't secured, I will do the next week's podcast naked.
Scenes.
Right. Okay.
Because it's secure, like you don't have to worry about that. Liverpool no.
I'm intrigued.
The topic of Ten Hag, we obviously saw that the Premier League released their top managers to vote for the best manager of the league, and Ten Hag wasn't there. Well,
absolutely, I don't think Ten Hag deserves to be there, and that's nothing against him. If this was a Premier League manager of the season, right? It wasn't an overall world because we've done really well in cup competitions. We've really progressed in most of them, but in the league, every manager that was named exceeded expectations more than what Ten Hag did. Ten Hag got us top four, which is great. It's more than he exceeded expectations.
He exceeded what you want. You
He did exceed expectations, but the other ones just did it to a higher level. Like Arteta, you can't question that. Pep, if Pep didn't win the league, I'd actually argue Pep doesn't deserve to be there because that's not exceeding expectations. But he's won the league. So Pep, Arteta, straight away. Was it Eddie Howe? Of course, he's got ahead of Ten Hag.
I saw Marco Silva in there.
Yeah, deserves to be in
Yeah,
there.
Fulham. I can't
What
sit here
about,
and say Fulham didn't exceed expectations. I thought they were going to get
Serbi and
relegated.
Emery,
What
wasn't it?
about
Serbi's
Steve,
been
Steve
incredible.
Cooper
Emery's
as
been
well?
unbelievable.
Like Cooper.
Was he in there?
No,
No, I
no,
don't
I'm
think-
saying no, no,
I
no. I'm
think
saying
if you
thoughts
wanna-
on that.
I don't know about Steve. I obviously
No, I think Gary O'Neill more than Steve
Gary
Cooper.
O'Neill more than him.
Yeah.
I think they're both of them.
This
in the
point, do you know
shout.
what? The next person after, if Gary O'Neill's not in there, is Gary O'Neill. It's not Ten Hag. Like, and it's nothing against Ten Hag. He still had. Doesn't mean he's had a bad season. He's had a good season, but it's just there's been some good managers. Emery deserves it 100%. Was Emery in there?
Emery was in there. Yeah.
If Emery had a full season, we don't know where Villa would be. This is like he took a Villa team that was so far down. So yeah, Emery definitely.
Great manager.
That
Yeah.
was like Wolves as well. When Lopetegui took over there, they got like 10 points from 25 games or something stupid like that, or like 20 games or something.
I think they've taken a few heavy defeats as well, haven't they? Which
Yeah,
obviously-
and they're not that.
Oh yeah, no, they have done. No, they have done. But
Mm.
I'm pretty sure he's got them heavy amount of points considering where they were. When he took
Not
over,
ahead of Ten Hag.
I don't know
well, they're on
about
41 points. They're comfortable. They were safe at least 3 games ago.
Yeah.
Looking at results and the way it was.
Yeah.
So,
But you look at their team and they should be. I know they were in a bad position, but they have some good players and they really shouldn't be fighting for relegation or
I
anywhere
don't
near.
know,
that.
you
They
know,
should be.
because they
I
don't
d-
have a
that's-
striker. Obviously, we know the Neves, the Matheus Nunes, they've got good midfield, I'd say.
Hillman.
I'm pretty sure there was a stat. I think it was a couple of months ago that I saw it. That I think the last time a striker scored for Wolves was against us last season, and it was Jimenez when they beat us 4-0. So they went like 6-7 months.
And then Costa did score, didn't he?
Yeah. I think it was before that. But that's what I'm saying. But up until that, and
Costa
that was
scored this season. He scored.
yeah, that's what I'm
Wow.
saying. I think it was a couple of months ago or whatever. But up until that point, their striker hadn't scored for Wolves, and obviously we've been relegated this season. So
It's a terrible team to watch. To be honest.
Yeah.
Terrible team.
It's not like they're a City and they're playing like a false 9. They're playing out and out striker most weeks. They just couldn't hit a barn door.
Should we talk about the Premier League in general this season? It's obviously closing up now.
Well, we had the
Ar-
UCL.
and the
Yeah,
Champions League.
City form.
We'll do that. What do you lot think of Arsenal though? I want to go on to Arsenal. I mean, Chavez, you did predict that they'll have a drop off. You did predict they'll lose every game. They didn't do that, but it's very poor
Yeah,
form right
it's very like they've only got themselves to blame. And now to track back and say, but we're up against this Man City team. It was still in your hands, and you were at 1.5 points clear with a game in hand, which is
now.
ridiculous.
There was like 8 points at one point. I remember.
Yeah, if you want to add the points, there was times where it was even above 8, but obviously Man City had games in hand. But yeah, I mean, I don't get the fans that kind of have been going in on the team. Arteta, Saka. The actual best players in the world, what they do is they end the season well. So you're starting to see with Liverpool, for example, are the best. Liverpool are a very good litmus test for the season because you saw they had a poor start, whatever, didn't start out well. But the best players, because there's still some incredible players at Liverpool, and the best teams and the best managers, they end the season well. And Liverpool have ended the season really well. And that's why Man City are just a joke at the end of the season. And this is why Arsenal and Man United, for example, have sort of dropped off because some of our players are new to this end of season, keeping that up, being that mentality monster type of thing. And yeah, they'll learn. But I do think like
point, I like that point.
Straight up, I will say Chelsea with Pochettino with no European football have a better chance of winning the league than Arsenal next season. I mean, Arsenal are not going to have another season close to what they've just had again. They won't hit the same points either. There's no way.
I was just trying to
Not
find
that
the
the team's
quote,
going
but
back.
I couldn't. It was a hypothetical situation, but again, that I was talking about it on the radio the other day, and it was almost like because everyone's going obviously Arsenal bottled it, and it was like they bottled it across the course of the season, but it's because of the position that they got themselves in. It wasn't like people were just bullying Arsenal, going, "Oh, they bottled the league, ha ha ha." It was because they got themselves in the position, but it was like had they have had. Because they've lost, 6-7 games across this season, I think maybe, something like that. And it was like, if they'd have, it's how you look at it subjectively, it's how you look at it. Because had they have lost the first 5 or 6 games and then gone on a 20-odd game winning streak, they would have switched up and gone, they're getting relegated to what a season Arsenal have had. Even providing they still finish second and everything was still the same. It's just, they didn't bottle it towards the end of the season of these last sort of 4 or 5 games when they threw away
I think in the
Liverpool and
last
West
10
Ham.
games,
But do you know what I mean?
they
If
bottled that.
if they started like that for the first 10 games, picked up what they got 5 points out of like 27 or something, and then picked up the other 80 odd points, you'd be going, they've had a hell of a season. But it's because
Yeah. I mean, if you
it
compare
depends on the way you
one
look
thing,
at it.
but like the way Arteta gets treated like a king, and he like half deserves it, but Ollie gets treated like a clown. Ollie's season was better than Arteta's. He finished second in the league every competition, every single one. Solskjaer's team finished ahead of Arteta's. That season where we came second, and he's treated like a clown. So time will tell. Because, for example, if Arteta now, I know he got that one FA Cup, which is huge for him that he has a trophy. But if Arteta fell off or something like that, he's not far off. I know everyone says he's won the argument, which as of now he has won the argument between Lampard and Ollie, but he's not that far ahead. He's not like too far ahead.
The Arteta FA Cup, I think, helped him a lot in them times where they were like really during their losing to Burnley, Everton. It was like the COVID era, so
When he probably should have been sacked, he
yeah.
didn't because of that.
But
Yeah.
to be honest, with Arsenal, I like that point you made, Dan, and you made, Chavez, about the litmus test at the end of the season. It kind of, do you remember 2 seasons ago where Liverpool finished fourth and they had that terrible season after they won the league where I think Alisson scored against West Brom or something like that, and they did finish fourth.
Yeah.
So I really like that point, and I like the fact that you said it's the big players that show up at the end because that's the crunch time. You're absolutely right there. So
yeah.
So and
like
then
the best example, De Bruyne. De Bruyne doesn't really score often in the Premier League, but when he does score, scored both times against Arsenal, had like one chance. They turn up. The big players turn
Like
up in big
Gundogan
games.
almost. Gundogan does it all the
Gundogan,
time.
he's a huge example, yeah.
yeah.
Anything else? Any other?
And one thing, Pep, by the way, just wanted a quick word on Pep. Don't know if he's the greatest manager of all time, but he keeps doing things that are just extraordinary. This time around against Real Madrid, the switch that he made was Pep's created obviously the fullbacks that come in. Everyone does it now. But this time he gave John Stones a free role, basically. John Stones was playing DM in that game. And I think that's been a huge difference. Real Madrid are not a bad team. And they have Modric and Kroos. And they look like they could not complete like they can complete a pass. And that's the level of perfection that Pep had with that team. It was just that first half was unbelievable in that game. That is one of the best pieces. It's the best football I've seen in a long time.
It was the same at the Bernabeu, and a lot of people didn't really notice it. But City had like 70% possession in the first half hour until Vinny scored. Like who goes to Madrid and has 70% possession? Even if you keep the ball and pass it around the back, like Madrid weren't coming out and putting pressure on them. They were allowing them to have the ball, which like obviously it worked and they got a point in the end, like in the first leg, obviously, but not a point, sorry, like a goal, like it came in the game.
Yeah, and Pep does things. I mean, we all probably disagreed with Cancelo leaving, but actually, the reason why Cancelo left, and he's elaborated on it now, was that he realized the thing that he was missing in his team was an actual fullback who can defend, and it prevents City from being so open because that was their problem on the counter. And look at Ake. Ake came in, and it's just been unbelievable.
That's what.
And so that's what wins you titles. Those 2-3 decisions in between have just been unbelievable. They've really changed the team.
He did it years ago with Delph left back. Do you know what I mean? He's done this before, and that Real Madrid win was a statement, though, wasn't it? Like everyone after that was like, yeah, they should. I think that obviously we all know their favourites, but any words?
They deserve it.
Any words on Inter?
They deserved it over the 2 legs. Milan were poor, but Inter deserved it.
Defensively, Milan were very poor.
But I also think it was. I think Inter pressed them to be poor. Like they not allowed them, sorry, but they made them be that poor. They was constantly pressing them, they suffocated them, they didn't let them out. And again, yet they took their chance they needed to. Inter, could have had 3 or 4 easy in that first. They hit the post, they hit the crossbar, keeper made a couple of good saves, but you score and you keep it tight at the other end, you're going to win the game. It doesn't matter what team you're in, what league you're in. It's doing what trophy. It's
Inter will be a good test. It will be a different test for Man City because from the first minute they will allow Man City to have all the possession. They will be compact. They won't let much happen, and then they've got good players on the counter.
Lukaku came on. I
was going to say, do you start Lukaku and try have someone hold the ball up? Because if they're lumping, or Dzeko even. I was going to say if you're lumping the ball up to Martinez, no offense to him, but he's not doing a whole lot against City centre backs. But if you start with Dzeko and Lukaku,
Bully.
rough them up a bit, bully them, yeah. Even if you're just lumping the ball and they're winning a header to give you an extra 5-10 seconds to press out, and then when it comes late on in the game, then bring the quicker players on, then well, there's always a chance. But you don't really want to start with your quicker, weaker players to start the game because they are just going to get bullied.
Yeah, I think I see this game going two ways. One is if it just carries on with the theme this year of the Champions League, it's been quite poor to watch for the neutral. The team, there's always one obvious team that wins. Man City could just end up like getting an early goal, winning like 3-4-0. But if the flip is that Inter just keep it 0-0, just keep it 0-0 for as long as they can, get it right down to extra time, get it to pens, something like that, get a goal on the counter. If Inter get the first goal in that game, Inter will win the Champions League. If they can. It's a big if, and I don't see them doing it. But I generally do see Man City winning the league. And do you know what? There's no one who's going to, there's not a single soul that will say, oh, they didn't deserve it. They 100% deserve it. They are the best team in the world.
Yeah. And Real, come on.
That was they've even like Real last year, they had the same route, didn't they? They had Chelsea last year when they won it. Like they're both there hasn't been like an easy route. Even everyone's going the quality's been poor or whatever. Yeah. But even you look at
they've made it look like their opponents.
Yeah, like the Milan derby in the semis. Like they're not bad teams. It's not like it was like PSV against like Sheriff or something. No disrespect to them two clubs, obviously, but.
And are they going to do the treble? That's the question I want to ask you two, especially you, Chavez, United fan. I think they will do the treble. I think they will. Chavez, what do you think? And which one would they slip up on?
I'll tell you what needs to happen for us to beat Man City, and it's such a long stretch. You've seen Doctor Strange, right? And there's just that one.
That one universe.
I think it's not. It's going to sound weird, but I don't think it's in our control to win the FA Cup final, and I'll tell you why. Because if Man City rock up to that stadium and play even to 90% of their capabilities, which they did when they beat us 6-3, they did when they beat Real Madrid just now, we have lost the game. It doesn't matter what we do. It doesn't matter if every single player in our team puts in a 10 out of 10 performance. Man City will win that game if they come in even 90%. Like, at their best, which they do a lot of the times in big games, but we don't know about finals. But if they don't come in at 100% and our players actually turn up, the ones that need to, the really important ones like Casemiro, Varane, and we need someone in this attack to do well. We need Rashford to do it. No one. I don't trust anyone else. Then we have a chance. And Garnacho, if he doesn't start and comes off the bench, that's the only way. And that's in that chance. The whole final depends on Man City. It depends on how they turn up.
And you think the Champions League is theirs?
I think the Champions League they've won it. Yeah. Okay. I just don't see them turning them.
Dan, what is your take? Is it the treble? Is it?
Yeah, I agree with what Chavez said. It's not. Real Madrid are Champions League royalty. They held them in the first leg. City turned up. I don't think Madrid necessarily had an off game. As you said, it was the passes, but that was City's pressing, City's suffocation of them. It wasn't them Madrid being poor as such. One of the best teams in the world, as you said as well. They've run through Bayern. They're two of the greatest sides that we've seen in the last sort of 10 years, and they just brushed them aside. It's literally like they're nothing. So yeah, if City turn up, I can see them even beating United in 60-odd% turning up.
Depends on us then. If we turn up, the other thing with us is I think Eric also needs to adjust his tactics to Pep. Like straight away, Lisandro Martinez is a huge part of our team. He's important in our defense. He's also important in our attack and creativity. He's out of the team, so now we can't play our best team and match them possession-wise. I think with Martinez out, that's done. So now we have to adjust and concede possessions, then play 5 at the back if need be. We have to do something outlandish in the final because our 11 cannot match it. You know what I mean? Like we can't press them like they press us. It's not going to be like that. And Arsenal did it, by the way. Arteta, I understand why he did it. He said he needs to stick to his morals that got him to that point in the season. But it didn't work, did it? And we're not as good as Arsenal right now. So we need to adjust to them. We need to be defensive and get them on the break because we are good at that. We are really good at counter-attacking football when need be. We've got the players.
I was going to say, obviously, the two big, I should have probably mentioned this on United, but the 2 points for me, obviously your two most hated players are De Gea and Weghorst. If you had to have an argument to keep either one of the two, who would you keep? You had to keep one of the two. You had to sign Weghorst or extend De Gea's contract.
I would 100% sign Weghorst because Weghorst won't start. Unless you say sign Weghorst, but that's your striker, then it's an interesting question.
Okay, then yeah, they've got to start.
Rephrase your question.
Okay. You have to either keep De Gea or Weghorst. You have to either sign Weghorst or extend De Gea's contract. They have to be in your starting 11. for the next, I don't know, 2 years? Who do you
No,
do?
no. This is the question. It's keep De Gea or keep Weghorst, and that's the only striker we get. But simple as that.
Yeah.
And I would then, in that case, keep De Gea. I just can't stand
And
Weghorst.
who's
He's
done a
not club
better-
present.
He's going to complete full circle. He's going to score the winning penalty against City in the cup final.
Weghorst doesn't score goals.
Striker does the score goals.
Also, if we
another
get to
point-
a penalty shootout with De Gea, we've also lost that. So just in the FA Cup final, just so you know.
West Ham as well. Finally, I guess they got to a European final as well, playing
Yeah.
Fiorentina.
I was backing him.
Yeah. Do you think
Do you think they can win it?
Yep. Backing him all the way.
I hope so.
We should ask you, man.
Yeah, I do. That some of the players are definitely coming into their own. Paqueta yesterday was unbelievable. That guy is actually probably. I can see why Arsenal, and I'm surprised Arsenal didn't get him. They were after him a couple of seasons ago. That guy is a baller. You can see the quality between the rest. Obviously, Declan Rice. I was at the game yesterday. I think he was saying his goodbyes. I think Arsenal want him, don't they? So I think he and I think the fans have accepted he has to go and like further his career.
It's such a good send off. If they win it, it's such a good send off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think West Ham doing well. I was going to ask you, Chavez, that Qatari owner, apparently I read this, if he doesn't get United, he's going to go for West Ham.
Yeah, I saw
What
that.
the hell? Like, what's going on with your takeover as well?
Oh man, that would be a shambles if you got West Ham, because it's not a bad acquisition as well. West Ham have the right stadium. They're not a small club. I would consider them quite a big club considering where they are. And yeah, no, it would be a very good move for him, especially if we go down the sentimental route and get Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Not a bum, by the way people are making him out to be, but he's obviously nothing in comparison to Qatar.
Would you take Todd Bowley over Jim Ratcliffe?
No, not Todd Bowley's too involved for an American. You know, when Americans get involved in anything, it's just tiring. And that's what's happening at Chelsea right now. Just hearing their voices, very annoying.
Yeah, fair enough. Obviously, very, very last thing, Dan, I want to ask you how you're feeling about the playoffs, because Luton are in there.
I'll start and touch on the fact that our women's team got promoted, so well done. It's the first time I've ever seen Watford lift the trophy in my lifetime. Probably the last, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take small wins. In regards to Saturday, I'm wearing blue. Coventry fan all my life. Up the sky blues. I can't see them in the Prem. The only way I'd want to is if they break Derby's record, or they stay up for 2 years, we go up next year and relegate in the season after that. That's the only two outcomes that I want out of this, providing they go up. They're also, I don't think they'd have to buy. They'd have to spend a lot of money on the stadium. A lot, 10 million. But there are people, like a sort of people-run club. It's not like obviously a rich business. So they'd have to invest a lot of money in the stadium, and they're building the new stadium, and they'd have to invest money in the squad, because they play football, but they have also been tendency to play lump forward football. If they don't go up, to be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if Carlton Morris goes to someone like a Burnley that have just gone up, or someone that's just stayed up like a Wolves or a Forest or something like that, because he's been a nuisance for quite a lot this season. But yeah, no, I wanted Borough out of Borough and Coventry, because I couldn't see Coventry beating them. Obviously, it's now Coventry against Luton.
Dan, I think next season you will finish below. There's a team that's been promoted from League One to the Championship, and Ipswich, Kieran McKenna's Ipswich. I think they will finish ahead of you next season. And also, I can't wait to see Middlesbrough versus Ipswich. It'll be a very good game of football between two very progressive thinking managers, Michael Carrick and Kieran McKenna, who are both going to be fighting for the Championship next season.
Kieran McKenna was your assistant, wasn't he?
That's exactly why.
He's done brilliantly at Ipswich. He's got them promoted.
So is
Yeah.
Carrick,
them top, right?
Everyone was saying Ollie and his team should be
No, they
out.
come second, I think. I think they came second. I'm pretty sure Plymouth won.
But they're in. Yeah.
They finished top two, yeah.
And they're in the right way. They're playing the football that you don't usually associate with the Championship. It's more like, it's basically what Ollie was trying to do, and now his kids are doing it.
But this is what I'm saying. I'll touch on it again. Championship. It's a great league. Next season, as you said, you could argue that one of the promoted teams is going to be up there, providing that they don't drop off. The other two teams that were in the playoffs and the one that loses the playoff final will probably still be up there. If it's Luton, they've been there recently. The sides that come down, providing they don't get torn apart, one of them will be up there at least. And you've still got
It'll be carnage.
You've got your Swansea, who were a Premier League team for a while. You've got us. We're not a football inside, but I'll include us because people think we're going to do stuff for some stupid reason.
Luton straight back down.
Stoke, stuff like that. No, but for next season, there's going to be Well, I'm hoping they don't go up in the first. I'm hoping they go back down to League One next season. Is what I'm hoping for. But
Yeah.
I I'm going to put it out there. I said 9th for us at the start of the season, and we finished 11th. So yes, I was being optimistic, but I don't think that was a bad shout from me for 9th. I couldn't see us
I think
getting.
it was very
in
good
the
considering
playoffs.
I had you in a
A
promotion though in these
lot of
playoffs.
people had us in playoffs.
You had some players that
There
are a
weren't a
little
chance.
too good for the championship, and yet you still didn't. So it's a great reflection of your club.
It's if I've said it everywhere. Everyone's blinded by Sarr's Liverpool goal. He's frustrating to watch week in, week out. The only one that deserved the move was Pedro.
Pedro, and
100%
now he's
Pedro.
gone. So your team's even weaker. You've lost your best player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Could you get relegated to League One next season?
Liga, please send us to France. Get me away from this club.
Could you get relegated?
The way we were playing, had the season been like 2 months longer, we probably would have gone down.
With how mismanaged your club is, it wouldn't even be that surprising if you kept your same owners, which, by the way, no one likes. I've even seen that as a Premier League fan.
Yeah.
Could there be a possibility that you're not a club soon? You get to the point where
we'll
I don't know, some form of liquidation.
there is a lot of debt against the club. There's loans against the stadium, the training ground, stuff like that. Our debt had doubled. Like the debt against the club had doubled in the last year.
See, like it could happen.
But
you never know.
but again, this is the thing.
Who would you support if you were to be if a Bury happened to you? What would you do?
Well, Bury is still a club, so I'd just support like Watford Rovers or whatever they'd be called, Watford Athletic.
Oh, like they'd go down to non-league and just
if not, I'll drive like 3 roads down to us. I'll come to you with Harrow.
No, but if you had to support a team like a league, a football league team.
What's wrong with supporting non-league Chavez?
Okay. Would you not go down? Would you not just go a bit up north and go Luton?
No.
What about Arsenal?
What about Arsenal? Arsenal seem quite similar. So
yeah, half the family's Arsenal, half Spurs. I can't go near Spurs, so I'd have to probably be bullied into Arsenal or Milton Keynes.
You hate Spurs more than some Arsenal fans I know. So it would actually be a good fit for you.
Yeah,
Arsenal.
It's just funny seeing Spurs do bad. It's actually a good pastime of mine.
Proper down.
Speaking of which, they fulfilled your pick that I'm about to release Embuemo 3-1 loss.
Yeah.
Just a shambles. They're not even going to get a conference. They were saying, oh, the Europa League song sounds great, and now they're not even going to get the conference.
They're hearing the Premier League theme. So when did we record that? 2 weeks ago? Was it 2 weeks ago we recorded that, the Premier League one? And Embuemo's played 3 games?
And Embuemo's asserted himself more. And Harry Kane,
he's played 3 games and scored 3 goals or 4 goals.
It's actually pissing me off watching Harry Kane now because he's so good. He's scoring free kicks. I don't even really associate that with the guy, and he scored a brilliant one. And look at them now; they've just lost again. It's just
if he doesn't get his move, and then when we start next season's pod, we will have to have a minute silence for his career.
Kane to Man United.
His next manager is literally going to be Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank from Brentford. He probably upped his CV.
Ryan Mason. I heard he said, "I'll take the job."
Ryan Mason, and then the final one, who I don't know if he would leave though.
Arnie something.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Gonna get
so he can't stay again. He can't see more change. You might as well just change club.
No, I think he's beaten the record now. He's done everything possible at Spurs without the trophy. He has to go somewhere for his career. I think he has to go United or Chelsea or.
He needs to drop. He needs to do what he did a couple of seasons ago: drop a transfer request and make it so public, so then at least the price can be brought down a bit, so we can actually get him.
Yeah.
But Daniel Levy, you know what he's like. So
I was going to say quickly to finish. Amir, you said Chelsea. Obviously, you're Chelsea. Who would you support if Chelsea went under? And Chavez being United as well.
Oh, I know exactly who I'd support.
Salford.
Salford.
I don't know. I said Salford.
Chelsea Athletic.
Or Notts County. I really like them.
Chelsea Athletic.
Or an Iranian team.
Iranian team.
An Iranian league.
Brighton support. I know he's not even there anymore, is he? Jahanbash.
I'd watch cricket more.
I'd watch cricket. Well, that's it.
I'd support a player.
That's it from us. So yeah, thanks. Enjoy the episode.